Hello and welcome back to the Awakening Philosophy podcast. My name is Jed and we are getting into it today. Now, we have been reading about dreams. We've been learning from Socrates. Okay, we have reviewed the history of where we are in our culture from Xenophanes who taught Parmenides, who taught Socrates, and we are picking up from where we left off with Socrates. And why did we leave off from Socrates? Well, Socrates is stressing the significance of dreams. If we are here to do two fundamental things: uncover a false image of ourselves that we've identified with. That's the cause of all of our problems, all of our individual problems, all of our relationship problems, all of our collective problems. And we're to do a second thing after we're free from that. The same activity of reasoned reflection and understanding we apply to, well, what's the truth about the self? What's the truth about the nature of self and reality? Who are we? Where did we come from? What is this place we're in? And where are we going? Including answering questions like what happens when we die. That's very important. So that we can understand what we're supposed to be doing here, and so we can have a good death. So also understanding, therefore, the nature of reincarnation and how we get to play out the consequences of living a just or unjust life in this lifetime in the next one. Really, really important stuff. And it's awesome that all of these questions are not only super, super important, but all understandable. Isn't that neat? You don't have to go through life oblivious to why you're here or where you're going or where you came from. Isn't it neat that all of the problems we see, whether it's fascism or religious indoctrination or religious enslavement or religious genocide or political, all the same things but done through politics, or whether it be the repeating cycles of problems we face in our individual lives, every one of those problems are solvable. Isn't that interesting? Who told us that? Socrates. He didn't tell us that. He said, hey, don't believe me. You have to understand why this has to be the case. It has to be the case that problems are understandable. And so, if we learn how to think for ourselves and reflect and understand, we can see for ourselves and verify for ourselves also that problems are understandable. In principle, problems are solvable. Isn't that neat? I think it's neat. Now, what's the difficulty? Well, we have to learn how to solve human problems. That's not something we've been taught. And in the last couple of episodes, we've looked at the lineage of true philosophy and how it's different from modern philosophy. We have a little map on the board. Let's bring it up. Where is it? What's going on? Okay. Can't see the map. Right. Oh my goodness, everything's gone crazy. Okay, let's reopen that app. So, there's a lineage from Socrates that diverged, and what we see as modern philosophy, Socrates calls not philosophy at all, but its opposite, love of opinions. People don't learn how to talk and reason and reflect through dialectic, they learn how to debate because they love their opinions, philodoxia. They don't love wisdom. What is wisdom anyway? Is it having the correct beliefs? Is it being the person in charge of beliefs, like the president or the Pope? Nope, it's nothing about beliefs. It's being able to understand, number one, and directly apprehend the paradigm of reason, justice, beauty, and intelligibility. There is a model that we follow in understanding, and there is a model that the physical world follows itself as well. There is a model of reason and benefit, and that model is also the model of personal development for every individual soul. That's called the Logos. The spiritual experience is nothing other than directly apprehending it, which means if you are an actual politician or spiritual figure, your job is to apprehend that model called the Logos, just as a mechanic's job is to apprehend the model of a working car engine, and a doctor's job is to apprehend the model of a healthy body and also understand its parts so that you can use that knowledge and understanding. We can put those two cognitive functions together and call it wisdom. That wisdom of the model can be used to benefit the person who owns the car, the person who has the body, for mechanic and doctor, and for politicians, people who live in a state, and for spiritual figures, human beings themselves as a soul. In other words, solving human problems by understanding the paradigm, but not just the paradigm, there is also that second part, the distortion of that paradigm. So while the paradigm is called the Logos, I know it's a funny word and it's Greek. I also know that you don't know it, most people, because modern philosophy is not philosophy, it's materialism. It's the specific rejection of philosophy through Aristotle, who wasn't able to learn philosophy because his teacher, Plato, didn't do that second thing. So while philosophy itself is apprehending that model of reality directly, that's also the spiritual experience, so it's the spiritual method as well, and understanding its parts, so you know what a healthy soul is, and you can recognize the stages of development of a healthy soul through those, just as a doctor should be able to recognize these stages of development and maintaining a healthy body. There is also its distortion. While the self-logos or mind uses the self-logos to create the physical world and its understandable patterns, causes, laws, which we should be reflecting in our physical, our cultural laws, humans create something. We create something called false belief. There are people who think they know things that they don't. They think they know the self, they think they know reality, and they want to find themselves in positions of power where they can inflict their false beliefs or ignorance. Ignorance isn't not knowing, it's thinking you know something you don't, on others. Now, that's why people are compelled to positions of authority over others. The most belief-driven people seek to be clergy or politicians. And also, that's why a lot of people have children, because their kids are the only people who give two shits about your dumb opinions. That's belief. That's philodoxia. That's not philosophy. That's what we are taught is philosophy. That's why it's so difficult to share what real philosophy is, even though it's absolutely necessary to solve human problems and reach our excellence. We are not going to solve our problems until we realize what philosophy is, which is nothing other than going back to what Socrates told us, and instead of just killing him like we did, listening to him. So, we are attached to a false model of the Logos that justifies our way of being, our image of ourself. Some people call that the ego, our fundamental self-image. That's called the pathologos. So as mind uses the logos to create the physical world of becoming, so too do humans in that physical world create, but they create the pathologos. They pass on a tradition of ignorant false beliefs. That's the fundamental root cause of human problems. So as we're saying, isn't it neat that we can solve all human problems? Isn't it neat? That's nothing other than, well, how do you solve problems? You address the cause. Same for fixing a toaster. Same for fixing a, I don't know, broken gasket in your engine. Find the cause, address the cause, remedy the cause. Same thing for human problems. The cause is our fundamental pathologos belief. So what? So why, instead of doing that, did we kill the person saying it? Well, that's the rub. That's the twist. Put M. Night Shyamalan on the phone and tell him, hey, we've got a wonderful twist for your next movie. What's the twist? The very people who have to learn the method to solve human problems are themselves human, meaning the people are in the problem they have to learn how to solve. And the problem specifically is a problem, the pathologos, because it blocks the logos. That's the nature of the pathologos. Believers fight against understanding. You can't be an independent thinker and also be a follower. You can't be a believer. You can't be a Trump supporter and follow reason and evidence. You can't be a religious believer and use reason and evidence and think for yourself. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to go outside of the belief. Whatever you were told by whoever your leader is, and they're all different. Usually it's your parents or your clergy, your local pastor or whatever. You have to stay that way forever, otherwise they kick you out. That's the nature of human problems. When someone starts to think for themselves, they are excommunicated from the group or killed. That's human problems. So what? Well, to solve human problems, you have to learn the paradigm of understanding and health for intelligence and humans. That's the logos. But what do our problems do? They block you from that specifically. That is the pathologos. That's the twist. That's the rub. The very thing we're here to see and learn, we are specifically blocked from because that's the nature of human problems. That's the human twist. That's the catch-22. That's the rub. That's why we still have Nazis. That's why we still have fascism. That's why we still have extreme wealth inequality. That's why we still oppress women. That's still why we have groups killing other groups when we're all the same human beings with the same self, participating in the same mind at various different levels of development along the logos, on this same purpose or quest or destiny or first and final cause, to purify our beliefs and recognize the nature of understanding, master it as an art called the dialectic, to recognize the true nature of mind and reality, to see we're all the same mind so we can unify everyone according to mind. That mind is also the paradigm of justice and beauty, or the model that Democrats seek, the model that all good people are frustrated Democrats don't have. They don't have a tent pole. They don't have a universal principle. Therefore, they don't fight back against fascists. They compromise with believers, allowing the fascist believers to take over politics. Yes, that's what all leftists are seeking. They're seeking the logos. That's the direct apprehension of mind that we all share. Yes, if we don't have it, the fascists end human life. If we do have it, we can finally solve problems and we can create a wonderful, excellent society. So, we are all here to seek the mastery of understanding, to directly apprehend mind and realize the nature of self that is its cause. The first and final cause in everything is the self, meaning it transcends even God or divinity, or you could call it the God above the gods, because as we've been reading, the gods are a mythological personification of the principles of the logos, the principles of mind and the soul's journey through those stages of development. We're all the same in that sense, so that's how we unify mankind. That's how we bring everyone together, because we're all on that same quest, on those same stages of development to the same goal. That's how we're the same. But what makes us divisive and in conflict with each other? Belief, or the pathologos. So we're all the same, but we can't see that because we all also are the same in that we all get false beliefs about ourselves that are in opposition to the logos. So you can rank people in their development along the logos, and that will also correspond to how powerfully attached to the pathologos they are. The people who are the most blindly loyal to their upbringing are the fascists, the Nazis, sexists, racists. My daddy was a racist, and I'll be fucked if I'm learning for myself, says racists. People who can think for themselves realize, oh no, just because my parents were racist or sexist doesn't mean I have to. But again, that requires more intelligence. What's intelligence? The use of mind to apprehend principles and apply them universally. What's that? The logos. So the greater we can participate in mind or the logos, the more intelligent we become. Equally so, the more we're attached to our pathologos, the more ignorant we are, and the more we fight against reason and understanding. That's the nature of human problems. That's the nature of human development. And all of this is from the book. Isn't this book amazing? So what? So that means there is a map of human development characterized by a freedom from the pathologos and a participation in the logos, which makes you more intelligent and good and caring. But requiring us to do those two activities, learn reason or the dialectic to reach participation in the logos, and apply that same dialectic to free ourselves from our personal problems. That's philosophical midwifery. If you're not doing it, you can't become free. So while there are people who are more intelligent and are more interested in solving problems, while there are people who are less intelligent and are more racist, sexist, fiercely loyal to tyranny and cave or clan beliefs, everyone will have a block to some level until they've completed their work. So at the top of that development is, well, the model itself. So the more that we talk about those higher things, the model, truth, justice, beauty, the more likely people are going to face their blocks. That's the rub. Because the dialectic is the logos through time. The pathologos blocks the logos. That's the twist. That's the channel. How do we break through and share with all living beings that we have the same purpose? It's understandable. It's why the fascists take over. They don't have one. And what it means to be progressive would be to progress along the logos to truth. If you don't have it, believers will use their tyranny to take over. That's the nature of modern politics. The progressive left don't have a model because they've been taught there is no model by fascists, allowing us to compromise with fascists until they take over. That's where we're at. We could recognize that modern Democrat stage of development as stage 5. There is no truth. Everything is disconnected. We can recognize the cause as the conditions for fascists. So fascists is number 4. The 4th stage, belief. Fascistically loyal to their personal beliefs in opposition to understanding and benefit. Sadistic. 3 is understanding. We are to move from 5 and 4 into 3. Understanding can solve problems caused by 4 and 5, but also you can apply understanding to understand 2. That's pure knowledge or directly apprehending the logos all at once. That's the spiritual experience. And of course, you can apply understanding to even that to realize there must be something causing it and experiencing it. That's the self. That must itself transcend qualities to be the cause of qualities, including the highest qualities. So, what's the issue? If it's just that simple? Well, as Socrates put it in the book, it's the old problem. If you say something clearly and simply, people won't get it. But there's another problem. If you are talking about truth and the logos and what's needed to solve human problems, humans will stop you. That's the title of today's episode. My beef with Emma.
That one's perfect and exactly the case.
Everything I said was perfect and exactly the case, but she said,
"You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now."
And she spanked me all the way out of Twitch chat. So I'm in a huge beef with her. I say to Emma,
Talking about a bunch of slop.
"You're talking about a bunch of slop." Actually, what happened is I have been a sort of participant in... Okay, so everything that we've been saying and concluding for ourselves by reading the book ourselves and following the dialectic ourselves to come to what's necessary and rational ourselves that we can test and apply, all of this is true. But the issue is, who are you going to do it with? Just like if everyone was going around whacking children's faces with hammers saying, "I believe I'm a dentist, I believe I'm a dentist," and someone came along and said, "No, actually there is a model for what dentistry is, a model of how to do it properly that you can understand," well, maybe they would find some counterattack or fighting back from people who like to pretend they're dentists. That's politics. So, part of our job is to share this with humanity and to find good noodles that you can talk to about this, to practice the dialectic, to benefit souls, because that's justice. And as we're saying, not only does it help you because you practice the art you're specifically born to master, but your relationships become good because you can solve relationship problems and have a healthy, excellent relationship, but also your reincarnation will be better. You carry with you the injustices or justices you do that affect your reincarnation. In other words, there is no hell, but you can bring with you the conditions for a hell on earth. So Hades is a representation of humans facing their problems. So what I've tried to do is find the best people to talk to, the people who are more open to reason and understanding, and more open to solving problems and helping people. Good head, good heart. To share the logos, because that's part of it as well. As we've been seeing, the dialectic has aspects. There are 4 categories to the dialectic, but there are 4 uses. To seek the truth about self, mind, understanding reality, the paradigm of the self-logos, to remove the pathologos in midwifery, dream analysis we're up to now. What does our dream maker know? Such that if the dream maker has a positive effect for us, he must also know the logos. Not only the logos as the paradigm of all spiritual and personal development, but he knows you personally, what stage you're at, the nature of your problems, the effect or the way that problem has played out in your present and in your past, but also its root cause, and it will know what to present to you that best fits what you are most receptive to seeing and need to see for the next stage of your development. That's what the dream maker must do. That's what we've been reading. But also we need to finally share it. Mythology is a way of sharing it. So all of these principles that we've been talking about today, we can find a Marvel superhero, or for the Greeks, a Greek god or a Greek hero to represent each of them, to talk about it and to memorize it and to share it. So how does this have anything to do with my beef with Emma from the Majority Report?
They're completely lying to you.
Yeah.
They're completely lying.
Well, Emma and the people in the Majority Report are people who are, out of all of the people, more further along that development of the logos. They are more open to understanding principles and using that understanding to solve problems, political problems for them. Therefore, if we are to be sharing this with people who are most open and receptive to what's needed, the human purpose and how we solve problems, it's going to be them people. So for a long time, I have been listening and following along and seeing that, yes, they're singing the same song over and over, while they are doing well in reporting the effects of false beliefs, the tyranny of fascists and religious believers, and billionaires playing out their personal beliefs. It's good to report on that. And they also commentate on that to say, hey, this is what a believer tried to do to solve this problem, which was bad. Here is what they could have done. So that's their commentary, applying understanding, addressing the root causes and preconditions for problems, and looking for principles that can universally be applied, different from one rule for me, another rule for thee, that believers use. So while it's good to keep to report on the problems that we have, and it's still good to add commentary on it to learn what should have been the response, and even better still to talk to experts in other fields to learn how best you can understand what's going on and fix things, there comes a point where you might have to address the root cause of problems if you want to solve them. As a principle, always. You can only report on, hey, the toaster keeps doing this thing. And this is what the toaster should be doing. It keeps burning my toast, but it should be making good toast. And here are all these experts saying, yes, this is what good toast would look like. Yes, that's what people do. That's what political commentaries do. There comes a point where you get sick of describing all of the burnt toast and how great it would be if we had good toast. You get sick of it and you want to fucking solve the problem. That comes, hopefully, soon. So while I've been following along for a very long time and keeping an eye and ear out for other people who are doing a similar thing, doing what sort of thing? Showing an interest in development through those cognitive functions that we can map using the logos and dialectic. We have a map. Where's the cognitive functions? Here we go. Moving from the modern Democrats. Hey, by the way, so I've been following along with the Majority Report, and I felt it was maybe time, because they have been repeating consistently over the last few weeks the same thing. They're saying the Democrats have no model. They use their own language, of course. They say there's no tent pole. The Democrats don't stand for anything. They don't have universal principles. Therefore, they let the fascists get away with things. They're not stopping the Nazis killing and raping Americans in the street. The Gestapo, ICE, KKK thugs who are being paid for with the taxpayers' money from fascist Donald Trump. The Democrats are not fighting back. They're not in the streets like the Nazis are. They have not recognized that the Republicans don't seek to benefit their subjects. That shouldn't, well, they haven't, so they've been repeating this. There's no paradigm, there's no fight back. There's no tent, well, they don't use the word paradigm. There's no tent pole. There's no principles. They are very, very close to the word model or paradigm. Very, very close. They're also seeing that the over years and years and years of describing the effects, that it seems to be that these problems are caused by belief. Very, very close. Religious people. They call them Christo-fascists or Christian nationalists. That's a way of talking about the oppression and violence of religion, along with Nazism, fascism, Christo-fascists, Christo-Nazis, neo-Nazis. They are very, very close to seeing the root cause of all of the problems they've been describing for years and years and years is belief. They don't want to conclude because they've been taught by the left that it's rude to say that religion is bad or personal beliefs are bad. Isn't it tyrannical to say that beliefs are bad? So long as you don't act on your beliefs, then everyone can have any belief. That's not how beliefs work. That's the issue. Therefore, the thing they need to recognize to be able to make the next step to conclusions that will see and be able to address the cause of problems is you act on your beliefs. You see through your understanding. Your psyche or state of mind is the cause from which you function. And that's what we've been reading in the text. Socrates has been saying, hey, if dreams are so important and meaningful, and one of the great betrayals against humankind is a removal of dream analysis, not interpretation, then you have to recognize a few things. First of all, the actions in your dream reflect the actions in your life. And as you look at the actions or the drama playing out in your dreams, you can also look at states of mind. The high states of mind that might reflect logos experiences, insight, enlightenment experiences. You can reflect on that in dream analysis to understand it, bring it to the present, have those experiences again, and negative experiences. Negative states of mind cause the negative functioning in your dreams. And you can also reflect on those negative states of mind or states of psyche or kinds of soul. So what we've been talking about, if there is a paradigm that the majority report are very close to seeing or acknowledging must exist because they're very pissed that they don't have it, they need to make the next step to say, hey, we're pissed they don't have a paradigm. That just bullshit beliefs can do harm. We're pissed that the Democrats don't have a tent pole or principles or universal understandable something. They need to have the courage to say, and therefore we need it. It's one thing to be pissed about not having it. It's another thing to say, and therefore we need it. Why? Because of the implications. That means your beliefs are also wrong. That means Sam's Jewish beliefs or whatever beliefs he has. Emma's family beliefs. Matt's family beliefs or religious beliefs. Matt and Brendan from the All Stars episodes on Thursdays. Everyone's. That's important. That means that everyone can solve their problems. You're not losing something good. You're losing something bad that you actually want to lose. When you cure cancer, you don't say, oh no, but I was very attached to my cancer. My parents had cancer. I love cancer. No. Yes, it might be inherited or part of a tradition, and you might be used to identifying with it as a cancer survivor or a cancer patient, but you don't really want it. If you do, you have a problem in your psyche. Always. Always, because the Logos is true universally. These apply for everyone. Always, any time of day, any period of history. So, by understanding how to reflect on the significance of dreams and get the profound guidance and providence from dreams, we look at states of mind. Why? Because humans function through their states of mind. That's important, because what we're saying is, hey, the Logos that we're here to master is a learning that we can do, but it's also a nurturing. The more you practice it, the more you find good noodles and, I don't know, good noodles? People who are poggers? People who you say,
The primary purpose, I'm too pure.
but you actually think they're pure, good heart and good mind, is so that you can practice it to the point where you see through it. That's the nurturing. Just as you see through the language that you speak, you don't have to think about it, but there was a time where you had to learn it. You see through your psyche, your state of mind, either your understanding, this language, or your beliefs. To say, hey, the problem is the cause of belief, but hey, everything is relative. Everyone deserves their own beliefs, so long as they don't actually see through it or function through it, is a fundamental ignorance or misunderstanding about what psyches and beliefs and cognitive functions are in definition. They are what propels you as a soul. That's what they need to see. That's the next stage. Why? Because it's one thing to complain about the Democrats being stage 5, a massive difference. No tent pole, no principle. Yeah. But it's another thing to say, well, we demand the principle. It's a one thing to intuit that religious and fascistic and, well, false beliefs themselves are the cause of all of the problems they're seeing, but it's another thing to have the courage to say it. They are in conflict between these two states. They see the problems of belief, but then they retreat to 5. And that's the definition of 5. We all grow up in beliefs of some kind, but when we see that they are irrational or harmful, we say, well, okay, we're going to leave. But we don't address the effects of belief. Hey, if they say God is this fascist, jealous, sexist murderer, then there is no God. No. Just because they are wrong about it doesn't mean the thing doesn't exist. If your little cousin says the best Pokemon is Mr. Mime, just because he's wrong, because that's a weird Pokemon, don't get me started, doesn't mean Pokemon don't exist. Just because they are wrong about the universal principles doesn't mean there are no universal principles. Just because they apply belief to it instead of reason and understanding doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So those are the things that they are ready for. Or, well, that's the problem. Here is the beef. So we've been talking about how to act providentially and how the dream maker reflects that functioning to us every night. Recognizes where you're at and gives you a dream most appropriate to where you're at, relative to your problem and your next stage in development. So someone who's been patient and giving the odd comment here and there over years to people or streamers or content creators or whoever I can see. That's why it's important to share so you can be seen. it seemed like they were ready for the next stage, which is what? A, to recognize that humans function through their psyche, so the root cause of problems that they've been describing is psyche. B, the kinds of psyche is this, 4 and 5, or belief or massive difference. Democrats and Republicans. Democrats, no paradigm. Republicans, belief. One creating the conditions for the other. And the good psyche is understanding, knowing, and the self. 3, 2, 1. What's common about all of them is they all follow the paradigm. So, why I thought they were ready to see it is because A, the excuses that they were making to not conclude was, let's not challenge beliefs that we see are causing problems, because we can save belief by saying, so long as you don't function through them. Hey, you can be Christian, just don't be Christian to me. And don't treat your kids like that. And don't tell your kids that they're bad because they're a woman. Or their problems are because they are evil and a sinner. That's not how beliefs function. So the block to their conclusions was not recognizing that the cause of human functions is their psyche. So unless they address their block, they will stay stuck. That's the first reason why I thought they were ready. The second reason is they keep saying the same thing about what they do want. Tentpole. They don't use the word paradigm or model, but everything other than the word paradigm or model. Universal principles. Consistency. Not compromising with fascists. Not allowing people who don't care about their constituents to be in charge of caring about the constituents. So they're going all the way. So while they've got a block from concluding about problems here, understanding psyches or stages of differences in psyche development of souls, they've also got a block to what they do want. The word model or paradigm, I've been using the word model because it's familiar with people, sometimes dropping the word paradigm in. And the name of that paradigm is, well, what we've been saying, the logos. The paradigm of principles, reason, benefit. That all politicians, we must demand they have. All spiritual leaders, we must demand they have. And what our dream maker has. So, because they've been banging up against this block for weeks and months, after years of patiently drip feeding ideas or just watching and not even saying anything, some chatters say, hey, you're a good chatter if you don't say much. It felt like it was time to share something that they could reflect on and understand. And that's what I did in the Majority Report Twitch channel. And again, slowly building up to it over a while. But Emma,
It's a total shit show.
in a total shit show move, has appointed Twitch moderators who are fucking fascists. They didn't understand, and instead of ever communicating to me about what they don't understand or ever wanting to learn about what was being said, they recognized it. And what do human beings have? Pathologos belief. What does belief stop? Learning, or the logos. So here I am saying, hey, yeah, psyches are the next stage, and the paradigm that you guys are talking about is called the logos. They just banned me. So after years of watching and supporting and patiently dropping in bits and pieces, whoever's the fucking Twitch moderator banned me from the Twitch chat. Can you think of a worse injustice happening in the world right now? That's why I have beef with Emma and why she's now my enemy.
If you're experiencing a mental health episode, we don't want to have to see that.
Well, you won't have to because your Twitch moderator banned
Freaks.
me. They're freaks. So now I'm in a big beef. So now all my content is going to be around drama between me and Emma. How dare you ban me through your Gestapo Twitch moderators? How dare you have a principle specifically dedicated to reasoned reflection on understanding what we need to become a better world, and here I am doing that, and your fucking fascist moderators just say ban. Don't give two shits about who you are, what you're saying. It's different from my ignorant beliefs, so you're out of here. Pretty fucked. So that's why she's my enemy, and now we hate her.
That's anti-feminist in some way?
It may be, but that's where we're at. Now, of course, that's no surprise. People who seek to be moderators because usually they want an opportunity of playing the knower when they're not really knowing. They are enacting their own pathologos. I disagree with this. My belief of philosophy is Jordan Peterson. And if your username is philosophy, you must be one of them. And I said specifically, no, that's the opposite. Here is the differences. You can see the differences. But whatever your beliefs are about philosophy is irrelevant because, you know, what I'm saying is simple, clear, reasoned about exactly what they're talking about, even using the words that they're using, but leading them to the conclusion and what they have not yet seen so that anybody in the chat can maybe learn. And hey, if there's anyone from the show watching, maybe they can follow along and learn so they can be benefited, so they can go from reporting on problems to solving problems. Individually, for their Twitch moderators and the whoever runs the show over there, but also collectively for their country and for our race. So, that's why we're in big beef with the Majority Report. They are now my enemies. Now, I'm joking, of course, but this happens at every level. At every level. When I went at every level, there are people within the group who seek to be mummy and daddy and have power. And even if they've been studying, understanding, and reasoning, and preaching to the world, it's good to understand problems, it's good to learn, it's bad to be tied to beliefs, sexist beliefs, Nazi beliefs. Even though they spend their entire life preaching that, they will still do it. That's the Shyamalan twist. Whether it be the Majority Report or a group of philosophers, they will do it. So that's the twist. We are human beings with problems. Problems block 321. Understanding, which is following that paradigm or model, the thing that Sam and Emma are so desperately seeking an understanding of, or a recognition that it exists. Following the self-logos principles through time, that's reasoning properly, not debate. Hey, by the way, all of these shows are finally, slowly but finally recognizing that debate is bullshit. You can only watch so many 20 Nazis against one normal person YouTube videos that are getting millions of views on YouTube before you recognize, hang on a second, whether it's political debates or YouTube slop debates or apparent philosophy debates, it never fucking works. You become more entrenched in your beliefs and ignorance because you're not doing the dialectic. So they're realizing it slowly, and that's the issue. If we're all human beings here to learn how to understand or follow the Logos through the dialectic, how to confirm or experience the model that we need for health and excellence, which is the Logos experienced out of time, reach excellence, solve problems, which is mind or the divine or the eternal. It's also it's ousia, mind knowing itself. That's 3, 2, and 1. There is even the self, which is our ultimate goal, which is transcendent even of that experience. If we're all in that game, then it's very, very simple. There is a model that we can participate like Hercules through time as the dialectic or understanding. That's the principles that we can talk with and function through. We can experience the model all at once. That's Hercules, while functioning through time in Hades, Earth. His state of mind is feasting with the gods in heaven, or knowledge too. The 3, 2, and 1 have ousia and logos. 4 and 5 don't. No reflections, I know the truth. Twitch moderators will say, there is no paradigm, you're banned. Emma's Nazi foot soldiers in Twitch chat. Believers, fascists, etc. will say, there is a paradigm, but it's my stupid ass beliefs from childhood. No reflection upon it, and those beliefs are in opposition to Logos and opposition to self-reflection. It's not about you, it's about following the leader. You can't learn or develop, you have to stay stuck. The same catchphrases about Jesus being the savior that you got when you were 4, repeat until you're 94. No development, no learning, like a Majority Report Twitch moderator. So, human beings are stuck here, void of ousia and logos. Our solution is simply realizing that ousia, self-reflection, is also our psyche. Our mind isn't physical, but it has its own existence. You are constantly turning upon your own self to keep your image of yourself, your past, present, and future alive. That's what it means to be rational. Not because your mind has a physical existence, but because its nature is ousia. Also, its activity is ousia. Those are the 2 words we got last time in the book. Ousia is a nature and activity. You reflect upon yourself. You listen to your thoughts. You even project your images and thoughts onto the world, causing your blind spots and projection and things. Hey, spam.
It is spam. They are trying to convince them to flood the internet with spam.
How dare you, spammer?
And this is spam.
Spam.
But you shut up. You shut the hell up for a second. You're not
Shut
real.
You're not real, spammer.
But that's funny. It's like the whole business model is like, hey, we can trick the platforms, and then hopefully we can trick people into thinking that these are real people to do like this.
I'm not going to trick my platform into thinking spammers are real people to do ching ching ching.
It is spam. They are trying to convince them to flood the internet with fill the internet with spam and AI slop.
AI slop, get away from me, spam. So, ousia is the nature of mind or psyche. It's also our activity because we reflect on either our false beliefs of ourself and mind and understanding, belief, or the truth, the logos and self-logos, we could call it. In other words, we're always reflecting on something, either further entrenching ourselves in our ignorant images and beliefs of self. Debate forces that. Debate systematizes that. Debate is therefore a systematization of ignorance and the cause of suffering, because this false image of the self becomes the negative first cause, because that image of the self plays out as your state of mind that functions through the world and comes back to confirm, I guess I sucked like I thought I did to begin with. So that's how it ends. Your fantasies, your daydreams, find it. See how it starts if there's an image of yourself, and when you wake up and realize, oh my God, I was reading a book, I can't believe I went off on a tangent, find out where it ends. And then compare the two. First and final cause, the false image of the self. Just as our purpose is to discover the self logos and reach the first cause of the self logos, the self, that's our final cause. So, that's ousia. Our nature of our psyche is self-reflective. It's either based on the logos in 3, 2, and 1, or it's a negative kind of ousia, limited kind of ousia, shallow pool. It's a slop pool.
Talking about a bunch of slop.
Talking about a bunch of slop. That's only enough to sustain your false beliefs and problem. Keep your problem alive. But that is what it's doing. It's still keeping itself alive. It's keeping your problem alive. Your image and beliefs alive. That's the shallow kind of ousia that believers and massive slop, Democrats, massive difference do. And it's a distortion of the logos. A shallow ousia and a distortion of the logos. The pathologos, false beliefs. So we're here to free ourselves from the former, or from the shitty one, and realize understanding, the thing that makes Emma and similar streamers better or more developed is understanding. What is understanding? Ousia and logo through time. Meaning, while you're here, you can get better and better and better at understanding. That's the dialectic. While debate is a systematization of what does harm, dialectic is an activity of what does good. Now, it's also the spiritual quest, because it awakens you to saying, hang on a second, I'm having all this benefit in applying the dialectic in my conversations, in my relationships, in my dream analysis, in my reading, discovering the puzzles and patterns and the mysteries in my reading. What is the logos? Where do all these things come from? I see parts and wholes. I see same and differences. Everything I've seen is like something else, but unlike it because it's a different thing. Where is like and unlike? Where is parts and wholes? What am I doing? What am I using this from? Where is it, like a big filing cabinet in the sky where all of these things exist? That curiosity about what you're doing awakens you to the model of paradigm. And then, of course, hey, something, so that's pure ousia, mind knowing itself. And if you recognize the intelligibility or the logos in it, you can know yourself as mind, or self knowing itself as mind. And of course, number one is, what has the self logos in a more transcendent and independent way? This one here. Experiencing the self logos in the physical world through time, the dialectic. Experiencing all at once as a whole, that's the model. That's the model that Emma and Sam and Matt Binder and Brendan have all been talking about for years. That's what they're after. And then, of course, once you can experience and understand it, you have the model of justice that solves problems. But also, number one, what's the cause, first cause, and the final cause of even that? In the book, we have gained 3 questions from this kind of thing. How does the self cause, or the independent, transcendent self logos, what the heck is that? And how does it cause that paradigm? And how does that paradigm cause our physical world? And how do we as souls develop? Those are the three big questions that we've got at the moment in where we're reading in the book. And we have been given a clue. Xenophanes, who's the teacher of Parmenides, who taught Socrates, and that's kind of where we ended. From that, we have Aristotle, which says this world doesn't exist, only the physical world. Love of opinions, that's why we're in our problems. No paradigm, no ability to solve problems. So Xenophanes says the whole of God is one, and it's the whole of God that's seeing, hearing, and thinking right now. That's a clue. Now, the big clue we're playing with also is dreams. Our dream master can recognize those things that I was trying my best to share with Emma from the Majority Report.
The primary purpose of peanuts is not to murder, it's to eat for sustenance.
And the primary purpose of you, and in the Majority Report, is to recognize that all of the functioning you've seen playing out is the implications of a certain state of mind that humans are in. So for instance, recently Emma's been talking about things like, hey, these people who apply for jobs as ICE are already the sorts of people who are racist and looking for an opportunity to inflict their racist and sexual racist fantasies on others with impunity. They're already bringing with them that psyche. Emma is seeing that. Now, she's not making that conclusion yet because she's tentative. That's why you need a dialectician to encourage you to make conclusions. If you don't make conclusions, you won't grow. How can you build off something if you won't make a conclusion? So they use words like, well, I believe it's the case. It's not a belief, Emma, or Sam, or Matt, or Brendan. It's not a belief. You're seeing it. It's a principle. That very thing that you are saying the Democrats are not doing, having principles, you're not doing. It's a principle of seeing that you are engaging in, and it's a principle of how they function through their state of mind. Yes, people bring with them their problems in their state of mind, causing them to apply for jobs as politicians when they're grifters, causing them to apply for jobs as ICE when they're racist thugs. Yes, that's the cause. If you want to solve problems, always, as a principle, you have to address the cause. One cause is states of mind. That's what you need to look at. And recognize that people's states of mind are a part of a model that allows for development, meaning we can judge. Racists aren't the same as Emmas. People like Emma, people who do understanding and care, is different from people who reject understanding and hurt. They're different. You can't pretend we're all the same in our level of psyche. That's ignorance. They're different, but that means there's a map, there's a paradigm, there's a model. That means you can judge people. Yes, use your mind, judge. But don't judge me. Yes, judge you. But it's wrong to judge people. Fuck off. Judge people properly. Do you say it's wrong to judge the speed of a car when you're crossing the street? You have to judge. People who are saying don't judge are saying don't judge me so I can pretend to be higher up. Jordan Peterson's hierarchy of racism. When I'm not actually higher up the real hierarchy. So that's the first cause of problems. An inability to see or conclude, well, an inability to acknowledge. Where are our states of mind on the board? Here. Oh, different one, but same. Must have written that a few times. An inability to recognize this. 2 states of mind. Because we're here, we're below the line. Belief and massive difference. Strict dualists, modern Dems, establishment Dems. Oh, this one explains the nature of these different cognitive functionings relative to its parts. So while reason, as we've been talking about, if reason exists, there has to be a paradigm. That's the self-logos. That Democrats need, that we all need, that Emma needs to see, that we all need to see. It has qualities like whole and part, same and different. People who love understanding might be ready to see that what they are doing with understanding is using these. Hey, is everything you're seeing a whole or a part? Do you use whole and part in your thinking? Same and different is everything this, and it's also your units of perception or elements that you use in perception. Everything same and different, like and unlike. Like and unlike. Strict dualists say there's only the parts, modern Dems. Believers are in conflict between these. I want to be a part, but I want to destroy the whole. I am different. I hate people who are the same. Understanding has like Hercules, a state of being of the whole while functioning providentially to the parts. Knowledge is seeing the paradigm of all of this all at once in the highest positives. And the self, ? Don't know what that is yet. That's number 1. That's our goal. That's the first and final cause. So what? So our question is, if our game is to develop understanding, if that's the highest excellence we can do in the physical world, how do we do it? That's why we're talking about dreams, because dreams must have an understanding of us as a whole and must recognize where we are as a part. It also must recognize the whole of psychic development and recognize what part or what stage you're in. It must know the whole of your life and know what part you're in, and also how the parts fit together so it can lead you back to the root cause of your false beliefs. So dreams have an apprehension of the whole and give us what we need relative to our part in the most providential or good heart, good head, most caring and most intelligent way. And that model of dream analysis is our model of excellence in the human world. It's the state of cognitive functioning we're here to move into, understanding. It's what understanding is. And it's what I was trying to do with Emma, who I'm now in a big beef with.
I've been a bad little girl.
Because she's been bad, because she has Nazi Twitch moderators. Because in studying the whole, as we're doing, including the whole of our human purpose, which is the dialectic, we need to see the whole of the dialectic while also recognizing its parts. Philosophy, that's why we read. Dream analysis, that's why we read the dream analysis book. The midwifery book, removing what's false, removing our blocks. Dream analysis, that's what we're learning now. And sharing it. So because that's a part within the whole, I need to share it. So here I am being observing and being a good Twitch chatter, chatting every now and again. Seeing the whole of what they're doing and recognizing they have hit a block in their parts. Their block is to see that there is a whole. They want the paradigm, they demand the paradigm, and without it, they can't address the cause of problems. Because you can also say whole and part works for individuals. We have all of our problems as a whole in our state of mind. Hercules has the ideal state of mind, which is the whole, which is what we want. We want to be Hercules, the ideal hero. We want our state of mind to be the whole of Logos. but our state of mind reflects the whole of our issues. The parts are our functioning. So if we want to unpack the meaning of the dreams, we have to recognize whole and part. What's that? Functioning through the dialectic or through understanding. What's the parts? What's the drama of your dream? What's the states of mind? The whole. The functioning, the parts. The drama, the parts. This also plays out in your meditation. When you're doing the dialectic. When you're doing the dialectic and you notice you're getting distracted by a tangent, instead of playing out the parts in the little psychodrama playing out in your mind, or playing out when you're being a Twitch thug, Emma's Gestapo Twitch, a drama where they ban someone and then, now you have to come crawling back and convince me, but I don't give a shit about being convinced, so I'm not going to listen. Ha 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 ha. I have so much power, like my mummy and daddy when they crushed me. That's the parts of the drama. You don't have to play it out. If you recognize the image of yourself and its state of mind, which contains the whole. So you can I'm in a fantasy. Hang on, what's the image? What's the state of mind I'm in of that image? Because if I see it as a whole, I don't have to play it out as a parts. So, in recognizing the whole of Emma and Sam's channel by being a long-time follower, recognizing they're repeating the same parts over and over, recognizing the next part they have to realize is this, that all of the parts they've been commenting on are caused by a whole, a state of mind, and recognizing that they're saying, hey, the Democrats don't have a whole. Okay, you want the whole? Here it is. Number 1, address states of mind. Number 2, the paradigm that you want, the ideal state of mind that can actually function in a just way, the thing you fucking want from politicians is called the self-logos. Twitch moderators are Nazi jerks. They're not going to let you hear it. That's why we're in a huge beef. A beef that's taking over the internet. It's going viral.
Please end kink shaming on your show.
Never. I mean, okay. That's the rub. That's the rub. Our dreams also have that. So, if we want to know the whole, one way we can learn it is by looking at dreams. Because our dream master also has to know the whole and relate to the parts. And again, that final thing, sharing it, giving you what you're ready for, when you're ready for it. But here's the problem. How many people listen to their dreams? Almost zero. That I have seen. When Pierre Grimes was alive, he ended up focusing almost always on dreams before going into midwifery. He's not there anymore. He died. So what? So even though you can see the whole of the majority report or the whole of the development of souls towards the logos, and you think it's the right, they've hit a block, they can't reach the next part, and you can recognize the part that their soul on to recognize that majority, that Emma and stuff are better than most people. They are more interested in understanding the logos. They're more interested in the providential use of the logos to solve problems. So even though you can recognize whole and parts, how do you communicate that to them in a way where they are going to be receptive to it? That's the big issue of this book. Because people will reject the next part because that's what their block does. That's the Shamalamalon rub. The very thing you need to solve your problems is blocked by your problem. It's a catch-22. So that's what hopefully this book is going to shine light on. How do we present people in a way that's going to be most providential, like our dreams seek to do? And how can we also be a better person? How can we be more receptive? How can we not act like the right-wingers that are in charge of the right-wing fascist Nazi Gestapos in charge of Emma Vigeland's Twitch moderation? How can we not be like those people, the very people that Emma hates in the world, that she's employed to be the Twitch moderators? Emma, huge beef with Emma.
That's anti-feminist in some way?
Surely not.
Okay, go ahead.
And how can we be more receptive to the logos? How can we be good people and not cunts, really? Like the moderators on Twitch in the Majority Report. Bunch of cunts.
Don't be disgusting. So like, not only have you been wrong on like 3 or 4 different things at once, which is already offensive enough, but you did it in the most annoying way.
That's her moderators. They're wrong and they're annoying. Thus the huge beef.
I find that very entertaining.
That's entertaining for people on YouTube. So that's where we're at. There is a model. Our dream maker must have an understanding of the model. Put it on the board, maybe. Oh, is the pen working? Yes. What is the dream maker? It must have the model of the whole of our life, of psychic states or states of mind, our own personal, the whole of our personal development. The word for that is destiny, our purpose for being here, what we are born for. That's how you use that word, and only how you use that word. It must also have an awareness of the parts. How our past to our present, and also our future. Some dreams are professorial. Our current states of mind. Within the whole of the paradigm. And our current stage of development. So it has that as a model. And also has a functioning or activity. To present puzzles. Understandable and solvable puzzles. That we can apply the dialectic to. So we're also learning the dialectic as we benefit from the specific dream. Apply dialectic to. If there's anybody lurking in chat, drop a emoji or something so Twitch recognizes you there. I need 3 viewers on average to get affiliate, and if I get affiliate, then you can watch my streams in different quality. Some people are saying I would rather watch it in low quality on my phone, but I have to use 1080p. And it doesn't count you unless you type something in chat every now and again. So you apply dialectic 2 for benefit. Get your benefit from it. So this use of the model in activity is providential. So present the understandable solvable puzzles that you apply dialectic to. Appropriate to where you are at. So this is me talking to Emma in the Majority Report today before her Gestapo Nazi thugs.
Please end kink shaming on your show.
Never.
I've been a bad little girl.
You have. That's why we're in beef.
So like not only have you been wrong on like 3 or 4 different things at once, which is already
At
offensive
once.
enough, but you did it in the most annoying way.
So annoying, Emma.
Brain rot escalates.
Well, hang on. That's why we're in beef. Why? Because that's our job. Just as Pierre Grimes had to share this book with us, that's for us to be able to learn. Imagine the world we would be in. We would never have relearned midwifery and dream analysis needed to remove our false beliefs so we can listen to Socrates and learn the self-logos, the thing needed for the model and this activity to act providentially towards ourselves, our loved ones, and the world, solve human problems. Therefore, it's very important that Pierre communicated. And we've talked about lots of things, like he talked about the one self 20 years before the rest of his friends got on board with it. Because formally, if you look at the crappy translations, the pre-Balboa translations of Parmenides, they just translate it as one, which makes no fucking sense because the dialectic is 2 ideas, self and other, using one as other and self for self, so one of, if not the highest kind of dialectic, to explain a pure one and then apply it to the self, or vice versa. So saying it's just the one makes no sense, which shows how weirdly ignorant modern philosophers, the people who in Emma's Twitch chat, they were like, hey, I know what you philosophers are like. I said, I'm not like any philosopher you ever met. That's a fucking prejudice. No, you're all the same. I hate you philosophers. I did a philosophy class in school. And I was like, no, you didn't. That wasn't philosophy. That was philodoxia, it's love of opinions. The opposite. Maybe instead of projecting your prejudice, Emma's Nazi Twitch people, listen, learn. Or isn't the Majority Report about learning new ideas to solve problems? Is this a new idea that can solve problems? Isn't the whole Majority Report about solving problems caused by belief and presenting a rational understanding, the very thing that you're demanding? Understanding principles. Is this a principle? That's why I'm in such huge beef with Emma right now.
If you're experiencing a mental health episode, we don't want to have to see that.
That's not true.
Absolutely gooped.
That's gooped.
Here we go.
Here we go. So we've been looking at what the Dream Master has as a model of the whole to be able to recognize the parts. That's the self logos, by the way. Therefore, Dream Master must have wisdom, or becoming, being, and the self. It must be functioning through that paradigm that we are trying to share with Emma and the Majority Report and others like it. Has an activity to present understandable, solvable puzzles to us to solve. Questions? If we apply the dialectic to our dreams, we can benefit. So the equivalent for Twitch chat, simple, clear statements, relevant to what Emma and Sam and the rest are talking about, even quoting their words. So, hey, this is what they're saying. This is what it is. Simple, has to fit within like 120 characters or something. If you apply dialectic, you'll benefit. If you listen and reflect, you will benefit. But hey, your whole Majority Report thing that you're supposed to be moderating has been doing this their whole thing. What the fuck are you doing? Banning me. You're causing such crazy internet beef that we're going viral.
You'll get a bunch of views.
We will get a bunch of views because of this crazy beef.
Talking about a bunch of slop.
Because we're talking about slop, internet slop.
It's a total shit show.
And it's a shit show.
You'll get a bunch of views.
But at least we'll get a bunch of views. Again, you can't... I've known philosophers who've been talking about midwifery and dream analysis and pathologos for decades, and still, they're the worst at this. They still do it. That's the thing. You are a human being, meaning you have human problems. The problems will be you will attack those who present the model, the logos, who have an activity and function therefore the most providential. The two together, providence. The best people, like Socrates, were killed. Providence. Providence. So that's the puzzle that we're trying to solve. Because as there is a model as a whole, the self-logos, for states of mind, personal development, and an individual's life, there is also a model for how people react to new truth. So the puzzle, the big puzzle of the book, which is how do we communicate the new truth? How do we communicate the new truth? Which is also mythology. Formerly mythology as sharing, dialectic, and metaphysics, and principles for soul's development. There is the principle of belief or problems being specifically specifically opposed to new truth. And understanding itself. So we are IE. So we are, this is the catch-22. Humans needing to solve human problems. This is the M. Night Shyamalan. We're solving human problems, but we are ourselves humans. Dun dun dun. M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan. We've got our dream master as a guide or model for how to do this. Model. Not supermodel.
Don't be disgusting.
Sorry. But also we have to learn the kinds of rejections of new truth. This is the big one. The kinds of rejections. So, why can't people be like Socrates? Why? Because of wholes and parts. Because specifically we are here to learn. If we were already Socrates like, we wouldn't be here. Literally. Socrates said, I'm not coming back. I'm going to a better place with better people who have better conversations than the slop.
Don't be disgusting.
Disgusting slop you find here, because they've done their jobs. They've mastered the logos. They've purified the pathologos. That's it. 2 things. Master the logos, purify the logos. That's it. And there's one activity we're here to do. Dialectic. People who've done it, we're having a party up in space. No, in a different dimension. Meaning, we are here for a reason. This is another puzzle. Well, the catch would be we are here. I'm gonna get the anti-glue stuff. There's a bump. I put glue on my fingies when I play guitar sometimes, and I keep dropping glue everywhere. So I got a big clump of glue on my little drawing pad. I keep bumping it. Little personal bit of information.
You'll get a bunch of views.
That'll get me a bunch of views. Because we're getting a parasocial thing happening. That's how Twitch works. Here for a reason. To learn and purify to learn dialectic or self logos. Make some space. Dialectic of. And unlearn our patho logos. Make some more space. Make some space.
A space wizard farted out the universe. All humans are inbred from a single pair of humans, not once but twice. If you're a naughty person, you get tortured eternally in a pool of lava by a vindictive genocidal deity who loves you.
Oh my god, really? I didn't even know. Unlearn our pathologos. False beliefs. And self-image. That's a rub. So, in other words, for me personally, I have only found one person who I've been able to have a real conversation with in my life. Well, that's a bit unfair. To this level, let's say. I have met a few people who seem open and receptive and interested and value it and curious and have an innate, like intuitive grasp of the logos. But again, they're very, very rare birds. Apart from those situations, really, Pierre Grimes is the only one, and that's because he's gone through this. So, considering these puzzles, how do we communicate the new truth that we're here to do and learn? Well, mythology is one of it. That's one of the aspects of the dialectic that we are here to do. So if we are here to specifically learn the dialectic, and one of the 4 parts of dialectic is sharing it, then we got to do it. So this question is super important, not just for creating a better world and having better people to talk to and getting rid of the stupid Majority Report Nazi Gestapo Twitch moderating dickheads. A huge beef with Emma right now.
They're completely lying to you. They're
Because,
completely lying.
And mods are completely lying.
That's anti-feminist in some way.
And in some way they're anti-feminist. Because this thing helps. This is the paradigm needed to address the cause of the beliefs, these sexist beliefs that oppress women. So her moderators are anti-feminist in some way.
It's a total shit show.
It's a total shit show over at the Majority Report right now. Huge beef happening right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we'll go ahead.
All right, enough.
That's enough. So, we've got to share it because that's mythology. That's what we have to do. Now, the issue is, the catch-22 issue is, our beliefs that we are born here specifically to address are problems because they oppose the logos. So the more we are specific and clear about the self-logos paradigm, the more likely people are going to be dicks about it. Because that's what it means to be human. That's why you're born. That's the Shamalapgalon. Here we go. That's the M. Night Shyamalan. Super twist. M. Night. I think it's a K. Knight. Shyamalan. Malakalon. Shyamalan, is that it? No, something like that. M. Night, I think it's a K. M. Night Shyamalan twist. Oh my god. because we're here for, we have Dream Master as our guide. That's where we're up to in the text. We're going to learn more about the Dream Master, so we can do that. And of course, we're here to learn the kinds of rejections of new truth, which is the big issue of the book. Which means we can add to this we need to also learn the whole of rejections. Maybe not here, because this is okay. I get a feeling that we shouldn't put it here, so let's put it somewhere else. So this learn the new kinds of rejections of truth, we also need to have as a whole, giving us a model or paradigm of how humans respond negatively. Are you going to take a part as a patchwork on your coat? I'm still Christian, but I'm going to take that part of how we shouldn't do slavery. I'm still a Christian, but I'm going to take that part of how we shouldn't abuse women and blame them for sin. Are you going to be like Paul and be a wolf in sheep's clothing? Oh yeah, I'm Christian. Oh, I'm totally Christian, all about Jesus. But also I'm better than Jesus because God appointed me as the apostle, and everything Jesus said was wrong, and everything I said about following my dumbass beliefs. That's modern Christianity. That's why modern Christians quote Paul or John, who supports Paul. And then the importance of reading Mark and the Gnostic Gospels. Are you a wolf in sheep's clothing? Are you someone like Mark, who, if Paul is a rejecter of the new truth, do you reject the rejecter like Mark? Are you something like the modern church who rejects the rejecter of the rejecter? Hey, ignore Mark, because at the end of the story of Mark, it doesn't end in a tragedy, because 200 years later, we're going to add more to the story and say, oh, because Jesus magicked to heaven. And so all that terrible suffering and why have you forsaken me? Oh, actually, that was good. Yeah, good actually. And it's your fault that he suffered, by the way. So it's also good for us because we can get you to feel bad about yourself, which is necessary for undermining your self-logos. So a rejecter of the rejecter of the rejecter. Are you like Plato that takes a part but ignores the significant other parts, taking the dialectic to truth or philosophy, rejecting the dialectic applied to the false or midwifery, rejecting dream analysis, and also mythology? Although he does keep some mythology, doesn't he? So he rejects these two. So that's what we've been doing in the book. That's one of the big things of the book. How can we have the whole of the kinds of ways humans reject or respond negatively to truth? The whole of the paradigm. So we can deal with the huge beef I have with Emma right now.
That's anti-feminist in some way.
Yep, her and anti-feminist Twitch moderators. Here I am sharing a truth that I thought was appropriate to the whole and the parts and all of that stuff we've been doing, but the Gestapo thugs Twitch moderators banned me without even saying anything. Fucking dicks. Huge beef with Emma right now.
I think it's awesome.
It's not awesome.
All checks out.
No, it doesn't check out.
I think it's so awesome.
No, it's not awesome.
I'm going to get you. I'm going to find you. And I'm going to get you.
Well, Aaron Brown is obviously in opposition of my great beef.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now?
That's what Emma. That's Emma's moderators. Paradigm. The whole of all of the ways we can reject truth, like R.M. Brown rejecting the truth of my righteous beef. R.M. Brown, we say to him,
Unbelievable sluts these days.
unbelievable sluts these days.
Where's the passion, dude? Where's the soul?
No soul in RM Brown.
Is this chat full of dumb cunts?
That's what the Twitch moderator said to me. And as a whole, with its parts, which are the stages. This is important. Now, while the dumbass Twitch moderators on Majority Report say, oh, a hierarchical stage of development? That sounds like Jordan Peterson, where the lobsters and the Nazi white men, billionaires, are top because they are got a bigger cranium and because lobsters are aggressive. That's Jordan Peterson's bullshit. And all of the other Rogan Sphere and Red Pill Griftosphere assholes. You are the best because you're white, or you're a man, and you have money. Why do they say that? Because they want the money. Now give me your money and I will confirm your ignorance back to you. That's a distortion of the hierarchy. All intelligent systems has an actual hierarchy of parts. Not all basketball players play the same way. Not all musical notes have the same function. Not all cooking ingredients do the same thing. You have to recognize the parts and arrange them hierarchically within an order of significance. Just as all of the rejections to truth, completely rejecting the new truth like a Donald Trump or a fascist, is the worst. Pretending to accept it at least acknowledges that there's a value. That's the modern Democrats. Hey, oh, this are actually helping people who we are supposed to help, that Mumdani is doing, says the modern Democrats. Oh, maybe we'll take a part of that. We'll claim to be doing that. We're like Mumdani because we have social media. And what are they saying on social media? Fuck you, starve and die. Capitalism is great because they give me money. So a wolf in sheep's clothing is number 2. Paul for Christianity, Aristotle for modern philosophy. So these are having this huge beef with Emma right now because her Twitch moderators think they know philosophy, but they're listening to Aristotle. Materialism. Everything is just physical stuff. There is no paradigm. It's all opinions. And get a position of power, like me as a Twitch moderator, where I have power to silence the good people, the best people. Wolf in sheep's clothing has an effect. And so we have a whole series of ways that we can recognize the parts, which is stages, and the two things are needed together to benefit and share. That's what we've been looking for. Because ourselves, we will have these blocks individually. Our partners or our friends or the people we're in relationships with will have various different stages of rejections of the new truth. And also even the crazy Gestapo Nazis of Emma's Majority Report Twitch moderators they'll be the worst. It's the worst of the worst in the Twitch chat. They are
unbelievable sluts these days.
Unbelievable sluts these days.
It's a total shit show.
It's a total shit show in the Majority Report chat on Twitch.
Gooners.
They're a bunch of gooners, I say.
Further fill the internet with spam and AI slop.
That's probably all they do. Just AI slop is all they care about. A huge beef with them right now. So that's where we are in the text. We are learning about the Dream Master as a guide or model for how we can most providentially relate to ourselves and others in this world, in any world, which requires learning these things, recognizing the catch-22, recognizing that there are stages of rejection, but how do we know it as a part and whole? So that's why we're learning about the Dream Master. And that's why I'm in a huge beef. And I'm right. I am the righteous one. I'm being persecuted by Emma.
They're completely lying to you. They're
And they're
completely lying.
Completely lying. Huge beef right now.
But I want to be clear, I'm not AI.
No, RM Brown's not AI, and I'm not AI either.
Hey, whoa.
What?
Who asked you? Okay, go ahead.
Me, I am not AI.
Well, you're doing your best.
I'm just doing my best, and I got banned for it. Crazy.
Whore.
Bunch of... I wouldn't say that.
Is this chat full of... Where's the passion, dude? Where's the soul?
No passion or soul in the majority report right now. But we can fix it because of the next thing. So, the Dreammaker can help us as a guide to solve this beef and be better people. A model of the whole of someone's life, states of mind, personal development. The self-logos, its parts, which we have to function through in understanding. There is an activity the Dreammaker is engaged in, but this is what it means to solve problems. We've been given a model and activity, but earlier in the text we've been given the model for metaphysics. Things that exist have to have certain things. Model, activity, but what's the final part of the triad? Should be on the board somewhere. Here. For something to exist, including the Dreammaker, it has to have an existence. It has to have an activity. Has to have a power. So while we can loosely say that the paradigm that the Dream Master reflects on as the whole is Usia, giving the existence for the Dreammaker. The activity is to present the puzzles relative to our appropriate part within the whole that we can do Usia on. There must be a power. So we have been talking about the paradigm. Now you can replace the existence term with the ruling. Why can we do that? Because these three qualities have their own sub-existence. There's a power being activity of each of them. There's a power being an activity of activity. That's the anagogic triad. So we are learning how to understand the parts, Apollo, put it together as the whole, Aphrodite, and to share it with Emma, getting past her Gestapo Twitch thugs, dialectic. Apollo, Aphrodite, and Hermes. The rational ordering of the parts, Apollo, that come together in a simple and complete whole, Aphrodite, that you can use to communicate providentially, Hermes. So that's the activity triad. The existence triad has Hephaestus, which is the power of Usia that's in our activities that can inspire the generation of the physical world. We can actually help Emma and make the majority report great again. Madraga, make majority report great again by unbanning me from their Twitch. Huge beef with her right now. Freaks and her Twitch moderators. Hephaestus, the power that those in the physical worlds in generation can engage in Usia. There's an activity we can engage in. We need a power to do that. We need to be in motion. The principle of motion, all motion in generation, allowing a progression through those stages of development. That principle is Poseidon. And using it as divine wisdom, or a whole through which you can rule and providentially affect all living and non-living beings, even the non-living Twitch moderators, if Emma realizes I've been right all along, and punishes them and chastises them and tells them
Freaks.
that they're freaks.
That's anti-feminist in some way.
And they're being anti-feminist.
Disgusting. I'm so disgusted.
That's disgusting. So disgusting.
And I find that very entertaining.
Even though,
Well, you're doing your best.
because I've been doing my best, that's Zeus. That's the existence. Could also be ruling. Could also be the use of the whole to providentially benefit. The divine wisdom. To care for all living beings, like the true Emma,
I'm cute. Like, it's cutie pie.
who claims that she's a cutie pie, and the terrible Twitch moderators of her Twitch chat who are Nazis.
Freaks.
Freaks. So living and non-living, because they're AI,
Ooh, okay.
I think.
He better not. I love
think,
this guy.
Yes. Me. It's me that he loves. So, we have, therefore, what is the Dream Maker? Has the whole, or the model, or the ruling, has an activity, meaning there has to be a power. And this might be the issue with Emma. What power do I have over her gang of thugs that seem to have all the power to just ban someone, even someone as radical as me, in a cool, like, awesome. I'm awesome. I've commented on Brandon Sutton's, he's one of the Majority Report All-Stars, on his Twitch stream, and he says that I was an awesome comment and he appreciates it. So think about that, Emma. They're denying the best of me, of the content creators, me.
The primary purpose of peanuts is not to murder, it's to eat for sustenance.
Exactly. The primary purpose of Twitch moderators isn't to murder by banning, it's to get sustenance by agreeing with everything I say. Not agreeing with me, just why the fuck are you silencing discourse? I disagree, right? No, he doesn't even disagree, didn't even understand. Oh, I don't understand, so I'm gonna ban a guy. Huge beef with Emma right now. The beef is crazy.
But that's funny. It's like the whole business model is like, hey, we can trick the platforms, and then hopefully we can trick people into thinking that these are real people to do like this.
They're just trying to get money, tricking that they're real people. Twitch is crazy right now. Huge beef with Emma. So, model, activity, model of the whole. The Dream Master must know the whole of our life, the whole of the states of mind that we can move through in our soul's journey, and the whole of our spiritual journey through multiple lifetimes. It also has to know the past, so it can connect the past to the present, so it can reflect our present problems back to us, link it to the past so we can address the cause, and even give us clues or anticipate the future, so it can give us warnings about what might happen if we don't listen. It has the parts of our current state of mind within the whole of the states of mind. You are currently like a Twitch moderator of the Majority Report. You suck right now. You are nowhere near Brandon Sutton, who's on Majority Report sometimes, and he said my Twitch message was appreciated. Also, your stages of development within your soul's development towards your purpose. So that's the model. Activity presents understandable, solvable puzzles, even in simple ways within little dramas, just like this simple Twitch chats that I make, like less than 140 characters or whatever, that if you listen to or apply the dialectic to your dreams, you'll benefit, just as they should listen to me. Huge beef. and appropriate to where they're at. I wasn't saying anything out of school. It was using what they were talking about, helping them reflect on the causes, and helping them see what they need to overcome their block to their conclusions. And seeing them helping them see what the next stage in thinking would be, recognizing. So they've got a block to their understanding. They don't know that understanding requires making conclusions. That's a problem. They need to learn that. By listening to me, huge beef.
It's a little odd, you know.
So odd that they're not listening to me. They have a problem with knowing. So we've got 3, understanding, knowing. These are the 3 stages of enlightenment we're to move into, or cognitive function and self. They're not recognizing the states of mind or the significance of they're not functioning with conclusions in the parts. They're not recognizing the whole of the state of mind, whether it be a ICE person or a follower of MAGA or Netanyahu or the politicians themselves. It's the whole of knowledge or the whole of the state of mind. That's the root cause. And they need to recognize those 2 things so they can move from 3, 2 to 1, and recognizing the root cause. If you actually want to solve political problems, if you actually want to put an end to suffering, if you actually want a just world, it's the self. That's the first and final cause in excellence, and it's the first and final cause in false belief, which is the cause of the state of mind, which causes the activity through belief in conflict and division. I can't talk to them about the self yet, because they're not ready. They need to make conclusions and understanding, so they can conclude about what they've been seeing time and time again for years. Beliefs are fucking things up. Religious, racist, sexist, MAGA, Jewish. Yes, Jewish too. Conclude. It takes balls. But hey, that's Nathan Fielding, his latest. Nathan Fielding has a new Nathan For You series, or rehearsal series. Nathan For You or The Rehearsal. Very good television series. He recently, or a few months ago now, went on CNN and said, hey, listen, planes are crashing because there's the old pilot and the younger apprentice. The apprentice sees things, but the guy in charge has different opinions or beliefs, and the apprentice can't speak up for fear of losing his job or whatever. And planes crash and people die. The conclusion that they're very close to concluding on, that all beliefs cause problems. Who's the pilot? Sam. What does he do sometimes? Follows his bullshit Jewish beliefs. Because he's a fucking human being. That's what humans do. They can't conclude as these pilots, as these apprentice pilots can, because it threatens whoever's in the big chair. Threatens Daddy. Threatens Trump. Threatens Sam. And what was funny was when, and you can see this clip, Nathan Fielding goes on CNN or something and says, hey, let me give you an example. Who's the big reporter? Wolf Blitzer or someone. Wolf Blitzer is the main guy. Have you ever had a difference of opinion that you haven't talked about to the girl, to the lady who was the, lower status? She went red in the face. No, not me. Not in my profession. Surely not my beliefs. Everyone in the audience knows, fuck yeah. And Wolf Blitzer says, oh no, we're very open here. That's the problem. Surely not Sam's belief. Surely not my Twitch moderator's belief. Surely human problems don't apply to we humans, only them humans. Yes, humans. We're all in this game together. We all get false beliefs from childhood. We all have to develop courage. We all have to do the dialectic, not just weirdo philosophers on the internet. Every single one of us, we're all in this together. That's what it means to have a principle. That's what it means to have a paradigm. That's what you are aching for the Democrats to have. You gotta do it too. Yes, even Sam has false beliefs. Even Emma, believe it or not. She must have, because her Twitch moderators are crazy. We say to our Twitch moderators,
Freaks.
they're freaks. So she must have a blind spot. Because look at what they're doing to me. I'm the most persecuted. We've got a huge beef right now. And you can find that clip from Nathan Fielding on CNN talking about his new show. Not my beliefs. And he goes, surely yours. It's Wolf Blitzer. His name's on the building. Or the name's on the title of the show or something. Oh, not me. And he's like, yeah, everyone. Courage, integrity. So, they have to conclude, even though it may threaten their boss. Doesn't threaten the boss. It helps the boss because he also has to learn, because he also has beliefs. So, they have to conclude, number one. If they can't conclude, they can't do understanding. They're going to spend their whole lives reporting on injustices and talking to experts on what they could have done better, or even giving their own commentary. This is what we would have done in the situation, and that would have been better. Yeah, no shit, because you're better people. You can better participate in understanding of principles. What allows you to do it is the self-logos. That's what you're doing, you just don't know what it's called, and you don't know what it is. You just happen to be naturally better at the self-logos through understanding. So yes, your commentary, how this is what I would have done, is going to be better. You need to conclude what makes you better, understanding. What prevents understanding, belief. Conclude, you've seen it, you know it, have some courage, speak it. That's conclusion. Why? Because conclusion is one of the stages of the dialectic. Definition, demonstration, division, and conclusion. If you can't do all four, you can't understand. Huge beef with Emma right now.
I've been a bad little girl.
So bad. I wouldn't phrase it like that. That's a bit feminist in some way.
It's a total shit show.
Anti-feminist. It's a bit, I wouldn't say it in that way.
I find that very entertaining.
A huge beef. So conclude, you got to conclude. Next, conclusions or understanding addresses causes. The next step after you can better participate in understanding, including understanding what understanding is, the self-logos, which is the paradigm, which is what you've been saying you want. Before demanding the Democrat, or you can also, not before, at the same time, while you understand that the Democrats need a paradigm of understanding so that fascistic beliefs and harm do not enter politics anymore, learn it. You're doing it. It's the logos. You're doing it. It's called the self-logos. Yes, I know it's a funny name, only because you're not familiar with it. The Twitch Nazis said, I don't know what the logos is, so I'm going to ban you. That sounds like philosophy. Philosophy is using your mind. You've got a mind. If you don't do it, you're still doing philosophy. You're just reflecting on or meditating on the pathologos. You're still doing it anyway. Just do it properly. That's understanding. What's the stage of development after understanding? Knowledge. What's knowledge? It's a state of mind. It's the state of mind knowing itself all at once. What do you apprehend with knowledge? The self-logos as a whole. What's the next stage that if they can make conclusions, they can apply their conclusions to? Causes. What's the cause of human problems? The state of mind they're in. It's all great, it's fantastic, and it's worth doing to have these Nazis and the right-wingers, same, it's just pathologos, whether it's Nazis or right-wingers or religious, it's all the pathologos. To have them on your show, show the clips of them, and point out how hilariously unjust or irrational their state of mind is. Look at the jokes Elon Musk makes. He's a real cuck or incel. Yes, that's his state of mind. He's seeking attention. Yes, that's his state of mind. He's racist. It's his state of mind. Look at Trump's state of mind. Stupid, ignorant, floundering, full of mush brain ideas that have no coherence. Yes, that's his state of mind. You're making fun of it. Great, now understand it. Understand it as a part within a whole and part. That's the next stage that the Majority Report and Emma need to see. States of mind are causes. And that paradigm that you've been using in understanding, and the paradigm you want solidified in the Democratic Party, is the paradigm for states of mind, allowing you to judge. Yes, racists shouldn't be in charge, because through their racist state of mind, they do racist things. That's ICE, that's MAGA, that's Nazis. That's the next stage for them as a part within their human development as a whole, and that's why we're in such a huge beef in Twitter right now that the internet's going crazy.
You piece of shit, there's a robot.
Fuck, piece of shit.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I love this guy.
Yeah. So understanding and knowing. But here's the thing, just as we've saw, hey, this is analogy. This is how you solve puzzles. This is what we're learning in the book. We've seen that there is a model that the Dream Master has. There's an activity. If we see two parts and we recognize those two parts are part of a greater whole, we are going from wholes to parts. That's the soul's movement through parts to a whole. Sorry, we're going from parts to whole. That's our quest to move to a greater wholes. The more holes, the better.
I'm too pure.
The more holes,
Bless
the
you.
better.
Excuse
The
you.
more-
The
the more-
primary purpose of
the more-
making ice creams, like, they're
the more
secretly
holes.
turned on. I'm
more-
cute. Like, do a poggers. That one's perfect. The primary purpose, the more holes, the better.
See? The more holes, the better. So how do we move from parts to wholes? Well, that's the question. With 3 questions you have on the table, how does the self make being or knowing? That's the paradigm. How does that paradigm create the physical world? And how do we return? One way that we've been learning that we return is through analogy, recognizing the parts within the whole. So here we've seen, hey, 2 parts, model and activity. We've recognized the whole from earlier in the book. That's part of learning, sewing the pieces together, making the connections. That must mean that there is a power. Remember? A whole or a rulership or existence or beingness, an activity and a power. There has to be a power for the Dream Master to use the wisdom of the wholes and parts through the activity of creating dreams to benefit us. There has to be a power. What's the big problem with my huge beef with the Majority Report? The worst people, the Twitch moderators, have the power to ban me. Oh my god, it's a shit show.
Pour much.
It's a total shit show.
Total shit show. I don't have the power. They've just stripped away my power by banning me. And these people aren't going to change their mind because they're Nazis. No, not Nazis. They are playing out their position of power to play out their ignorance and false beliefs like fucking jerks. Worst chat room. Majority Report chat. Worst chatters. Do better. Huge beef with them. Power. No power. Why are those jerks in power? Why are the same thing. Hey, you want to solve the problem of the right-wingers, fascists doing their problems because they have power? Then clean up your own household. Why does these people have power over me in your Twitch chat? Huge beef right now.
All right, enough.
No, it's not enough.
Hey,
Hey,
you piece of shit, there's a
Hey.
robot.
it's not, I told you, it's not
And I
enough.
find that very entertaining.
Well, it is entertaining. That's why I'm going to get all the views.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Okay. I need power. Or the Dream Master has a kind of power to be able to function through the model when in its activity. So that's what we're after. What's the power that the Dream Master has as our next quest? Also, as another example of this, to address this huge beef that I'm having with Emma from the Majority Report right now, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's going viral. Going viral.
He's an AI guy.
I'm not AI.
But you shut up. You shut the hell up for a second. You're not real.
Stop telling me I'm not real. This is huge beef. So, another example is recognizing, hey, block to understanding, making conclusions and stuff, speaking up to authority, like the conclusions. They need to make conclusions. Otherwise, they'll just be making fun of, or they'll just be describing unjust activities for years and years and years and years until the fascists just put an end to human life. They have a block from knowing, which is, so this is, the conclusion is a part, understanding is parts, which is the whole, which we apprehend as human beings. We experience the knowledge, our knowledge, or the whole as states of mind. So what they need to realize is the cause of the, and they're close to seeing it. Again, they're very close to seeing it, but they can't conclude, so they're not going to see it. So that's what a dialectician can do, using their own words, their own level of development that they're seeing on themselves, patiently waiting years before saying this stuff or whatever, and helping them make the conclusion for what they're ready to see, the whole as states of mind, as the cause of the problems experienced, that we are experiencing. And this would also include recognizing, therefore, the different cognitive functions, specifically mass of difference or strict dualists, which is no model, which they have falling into if they don't conclude, which is also the problem with the establishment Democrats that they are seeing and they're getting pissed about. That's the fifth. 5. 4. Belief is a cognitive function. It's different from understanding. It's different from not making conclusions. Number 5. It's the cause of problems. And the right wing, to be bound by ignorant false beliefs is to be a right winger. Right wing. Number 3, understanding, which involves making conclusions, and which is principles that they're wanting, causes, which they're frustrated that politicians can't address causes. You need understanding to do it. If they're believers, they're never gonna fucking solve problems. Learn understanding. Sorry, I'm not mad at whoever's watching. I'm mad at people who expect that believers can never solve problems if they don't know how to think properly, because they don't address causes. And it's also the model It's also the dialectic, not debate. And it's the self-logos. That's its name. I know it's weird, but don't ban me from Twitch. Huge beef right now.
Freaks.
Freaks. Self-logos. Yes, it's not a word that you know, but you don't know everything. Stop telling your Twitch moderators that they can act like they know everything. They don't know everything. They don't know anything that I know because they're idiots.
Disgusting.
They're
so
disgusting, and I'm so disgusted.
If you're experiencing a mental health at freaks.
And they're freaks who are having a mental health episode. So they have to recognize this is the states of mind. Knowing, which is we can experience as our state of mind. And is also the model. The highest state of mind is the model or paradigm of self-logos and justice that they seek. That's what they're after. That's what they're after. The whole thing. Their whole life's work is about seeking the model of justice and how to implement it. You implement it by this, understanding and recognizing the different stages, the parts and whole, but you can't do it unless you know the justice as a whole. That's knowing. And of course, there is some self that is going through those stages of development. That's the first and final cause. It's our purpose or destiny. Now, our false image of ourself, that's the root cause of our negative states of mind that end up causing right-wingers or establishment Democrats causing the problems that we face, is the first and final cause of problems. So, what's the problems with the Majority Report? Problems with Majority Report. Huge beef. Huge beef right now. Huge beef. Huge beef. Huge beef.
Okay.
Huge beef. Huge beef. Number one, understanding. They need to learn how to make conclusions and address the difficulties that come up. So what if Sam disagrees with you? Emma has said many, many funny things that Sam doesn't laugh at. Doesn't mean they're not funny. He's got a funny sense of humor, Emma. Knowing. Make conclusions so you can recognize the states of mind, which recognize different cognitive functions, and you also have to recognize, therefore, what we are learning here. That's why this stream is so awesome and why we have the best stream viewers.
There's only two options at the end. Imagine people changing their positions and improving for the better.
Improving for the better.
The problem is that you can't reason someone out of a position that they didn't reason themselves into.
Okay, I couldn't find a good job. But my chatters are the best chatters. Why? Because I have to recognize that there is therefore a different color. Also we have to recognize that there are different cognitive functions that we function through, but also that there is a model of states of mind. It's not all just beliefs and opinions and you happen to have the right ones. What makes them right? What makes them true? Not because they have a positive effect. The positive effect is the consequence. Emma is better than other streamers because she is functioning through a model of states of mind and souls. She is a soul operating through a state of mind that is more developed towards the logos. She just is she's able to solve problems as a consequence. We don't say, oh, she's able to solve problems better, therefore she's got a better state of mind. No, she's able to do it automatically. Same thing with most of the people, not the Twitch moderators, they're terrible, but most of the people on the Majority Report have a state of mind and model states of mind and kinds of souls, as a kind of soul operating as a whole through a state of mind, kinds that are better and more evolved towards what? Towards a model. There's a model, therefore there has to be parts, a whole. You have to recognize that's the self-logos. Even if it gets you banned from Twitch, huge beef right now. The model, the whole, which is the self-logos, has parts. That's what we call the self-logos terms, or spell it, the self-ers. Pierre Grimes coined that expression. Self-ers. That means there must be, therefore, stages. Not that color. Green. Must be stages. That are hierarchically ranked. Yes, racists aren't as good as thinkers. That's not rude or mean. That's true. Hierarchically ranked. And need to be judged. Stages hierarchically ranked. And therefore there has to be, a development through. Been cramped. Lots of writing today. Through those stages. If there's a development through those stages, there has to be some sort of, what color? Yellow. If there is some development through those stages, there have to be some sort of art. Necessarily an art, therefore, there's an art to facilitate that movement. Yeah. Required to solve problems and benefit. So that's what they have to realize. It's great pointing out problems or making fun of states of mind, but unless you recognize that states of mind are the cause, that's why it's good to make fun of them. That there is a whole of all states of mind. That's the self-logos. That's the paradigm of justice too. It's only one paradigm, so there's your tent pole for the Democrats. There are parts that you have to recognize as well. Those parts are stages that can be hierarchically arranged. If there is a hierarchical arrangement of states of mind or types of souls within a whole, there has to be a development through those stages for there to be growth or learning as a principle. And we know growth and learning exists because Emma hopefully will grow and learn that the Twitch moderators suck and they stink, and that's why we're having huge beef. So she can learn that, meaning there is a principle of learning, meaning there has to be stages through which you move psychically or as a soul. That needs to be seen so you can recognize, hey, racists are down here. Whereas Emma is way up here. But there are categories. They're not going to... If Emma goes on a regular mainstream news network, they're going to be filled with low states of mind people. She's a rare sort of a person. There aren't a lot of people like Emma out there. That's why she lives on my soundboard.
I'm too pure.
and why this beef is going so viral on the internet. So I think today, the one that I was banned on, huge beef with her right now.
But I want to be clear, I'm not AI.
No, he's not AI. I'm not AI. On today's show, there was a clip of her on some news network, and those fucking morons weren't understanding her. Because her level of functioning as a soul or psyche or state of mind is so much higher than the toe-headed fascists that normally populate mainstream media. But even then, there are some people who are better. I'm sure she didn't go on like Fox News, but so there are better, but they're still not at her level. And so they were talking over to her, not understanding her. So it's necessary to help them to recognize that there are stages and that can be hierarchically ranked, which means there is a development that we can go through, which means there is an art that's required to facilitate that movement. And therefore, because we are not blocked from understanding, we can go that next step and make a conclusion. And because we are all living beings are going through it. We are all souls in that development. Therefore, we all must master that art, which means the meaning or purpose of our human life is master, just to learn and nurture are the two key words, because that's what we take into us as a soul and take with us after this lifetime. And you are nurture or master with excellence, highest, the art of the dialectic. So, they're not making conclusions, therefore they can't go through that step of reasoning, because each step is a conclusion. But we can, because we're not blocked. In the same way Emma's Gestapo Twitch people are blocked. So they have to recognize the cause of problems is states of mind. The rest follows. Like, here are the cognitive functions that we can go through. And equally so, there are states of mind or kinds of souls that we develop within a model of the whole. That's what Emma and Sam have been gagging for. The model of the whole, the paradigm, that's the self-logos. To demand it from politicians means you also need it yourself. Or you're also here to learn it yourself. The whole is the self-logos. Well, you want to demand it from politicians, but it's worth seeing yourself as well. The whole is the self-logos. Its parts are called the self-ers. The stages, so that self-logos is applied to cognitive function, to states of soul, to everything, including societies. That's the model of justice you're after.
I'm too pure.
Hey, man. So, those parts can be hierarchically arranged as stages of our soul's development or states of mind development. There must be a development, therefore, a learning through those stages, which means there has to be some art that you're here to develop. It ain't debate. It ain't debate. It's great to make fun of debate. like when that guy that's your friend, I can't remember his name, 20 fascist Nazis against one leftist or some bullshit. Yes, it was a shit show. It was a shit show.
That's anti-feminist. It's a total shit show.
Total shit show. That's great to make fun of it, but you also have to learn the right thing, which is the art to facilitate the movement of stages, of states of mind, which are the causes of all the problems you're seeing and making fun of and reporting on, which is great. The next stage is to recognize it's caused by states of mind. There are stages. You can facilitate the movement of the stages, which is therefore needed to solve problems and also benefit. Because even once you're free of problems, you can continue to evolve through states of higher growth. Therefore, as we are all souls in that development, therefore we are all here to master that art, meaning the purpose, because we're all going through, hey, don't you want to know it? Do you suffer from problems? Do you want to solve problems? Then you learn this. Do you want to, once free of problems, reach higher excellence? Then learn this. Meaning it's the meaning or purpose or destiny or first and final cause of all human life is to learn and nurture or master with excellence the art of the dialectic. Whether or not Emma and the rest of the majority report can go through all of those stages, probably not. Because they need to first recognize, make conclusions, and then recognize states of mind are a cause. Then they can go through the rest if they want. But we've got two stages. Hang on a second. Didn't we just say the way that we move through those stages is look for patterns of the parts that we can see, learn about the whole, and then make our conclusions about what are the missing parts, allowing us to move from parts to whole, just like we did by saying, where is it? It's like we did by saying, here, we saw there is a model or a wisdom of whole and parts. There is an activity, and we recognized, we learned that there was a ruling term, or a guiding or ruling term. Whoops. Ruling, an activity term, and a power term, necessarily as metaphysical principles for anything that exists. And if we see the model and activity, we can fill in the power. That's moving from parts to wholes. That's how we develop. The dialectic is facilitating that movement through questions so you can see it yourself or come up with the punchline if you want to bring comedy into it, because comedy is just facilitating that movement but not giving the conclusion so they can come to the conclusion in their punchline and laugh, which is what your Twitch moderators need. They need to fucking laugh because they're such serious bastards that they suck right now, and we're in a huge beef right now.
If you're experiencing a mental health episode, we don't want to have to see that.
Yeah, we don't want to see that from your Twitch moderators.
I don't know if you know this, but like weird dudes exist everywhere.
Yeah, they're weird dudes.
All right, enough.
No, not enough. Never
It's
enough.
a crazy one.
It's crazy, but it's true.
Gooners.
They're a bunch of gooners on her Twitch moderating channel thing. So, understanding and knowing. Hang on a second. They're parts. Do we have a whole that includes understanding and knowing? You betcha. You betcha. Those are those. Oh, we've got it right here, actually. We just wrote it out, didn't we? Where is it? The stages of cognitive development or cognitive functions. Strict dualists, dumbass demos. Belief, fascist Nazi right-wingers. Understanding, ooh. Knowing, those are our two terms. Therefore, 8:40 in the morning. Too early for a call. Text me, crazy person. So yes, as we've recognized that these are understanding and knowing, therefore, parts in a whole. What's the next part? Self. Therefore, the next stage that they would have to realize, but they're probably not ready for, because as the Dream Master has told us, we need to give people what they need relevant to their part within the whole for their appropriate development. so they can be open and receptive, so they can go through this movement, which is part of the art of the dialectic that we're all here to master. But whether or not they're open to it yet or not would mean that there is a final stage underneath that they would have to see: the self. Understanding. You're understanding. Make conclusions. Knowing. Recognize states of mind. Whoops. Make conclusions, Emma, Sam, Matt and Brendan, and army guy, new army guy. Knowing states of mind. States of mind are the cause. States of mind is cause behind functioning that you've been reporting on behind functioning. So learn to address that. Hey, notice that all the ice people are fascist, sexist, racist, groypers. And then, what's the final stage after knowing? Self. The idea, image, and belief of self is the cause behind the state of mind. And this applies to all human problems, including Nazis and fascists and right-wingers, but also all human excellence. So there's our fate. Inevitable extinction of mankind, playing out these the implications of this false idea of self, that we fail to recognize it's the meaning of life to address through the dialectic, or our highest purpose or destiny. Or purpose. Therefore, conclusion. Therefore, the meaning of life, art, mastery. Remember, with excellence, mastery of the art of dialectic, ultimately applies to to either false image of self we identify with. Fuck me, cramp in my hand. Which is our mask. Some people call it the ego. Mask. Or the true nature of self that we learn about through self logos. Oh my god, cramp. So much writing. Self logos participation in understanding and self log. Cramp. Does blowing on it help? Maybe I should drink something. My drink's gone warm. Boo. And my coffee's gone empty. Double boo. Self-logos participation in understanding, or self-logos experience in knowing as the excellences which is the excellence, understanding being the excellence running out of space. Go to the side. Excellence in functioning through time or activity term, knowing, therefore, being the excellence in state of mind, which is out of time or eternity. We could say that's our power. Giving us activity, power, and the ruling term, the self. Allowing us to not experience it, but allowing us to recognize the self, the one self, via self logos, which would be the excellence of ruling or existing, or so whatever the highest term is, the ruling term or the guiding term or the self term, excellence of self, which we call Zeus. So, well, if they can recognize what understanding is, it requires a conclusion, because that's the dialectic. So you have to also, so that's their particular block is, or their part is the conclusion part, but also as a whole, that's the part that they have a problem with. That's where their block is currently. But within a whole, it's the dialectic. Because dialectic as a whole, because conclusion, so the reason we could recognize that they weren't concluding, because there is definition, demonstration, division, and conclusion. That's where they're blocked. They need to find the conclusion and get better at doing conclusion, but recognizing that that's part of a whole. That's the dialectic. The next thing they can, if they're able to conclude, they can come to their own conclusion about what they're seeing for themselves. They're just not concluding about that the cause behind all of this shit that they're reporting about, and they really, I genuinely know, I don't know, but I think that I'm pretty sure that they genuinely actually want to solve problems and end suffering and make a better world. So to do that, you have to realize the cause of what they're seeing. It requires learning the dialectic to make a conclusion, so they recognize where they're blocked. We better not say this because it might conflict with whatever. No, say it. The root cause is states of mind, but that's the cause behind functioning. And then after they do that, they may be, after some time in doing that, so not now, like we wouldn't give them this dream now if we were their dream maker, but we can recognize, because we have been doing this, that they are from parts to whole, understanding self. 3, 2, 1. What's the one? The self. The self, therefore, is the idea or image of belief. That's the cause behind the state of mind. Or in its absence, when you can free yourself from your negative image or your image or belief of self, because it's beyond images, beliefs, and ideas. That's the cause of all human excellence. So the root cause behind all of the suffering you're seeking. But also, don't you want the Democrats to do good and actually have a platform? What's human excellence? The self. That's it. The self, which is the removal of the false beliefs that cause problems. So a just society would be addressing the problems, not just punishing people or allowing the worst people to try and get away with their crimes. Therefore, so the cause of solving problems, the dialectic, conclude. When you can conclude, what can you see? The cause of problems, states of mind. The cause behind the states of mind is the false idea of the self. Therefore, the meaning of life that we concluded earlier, the art of the art of dialectic, ultimately applies to one of two things: either the false image of the self or the true nature of the self. So this thing that we're here to learn, the dialectic, has two applications: surfacing and removing the false image of the self that causes the states of mind, that causes all the Nazi shit that Emma is trying to solve, or the true nature of the self that manifests excellently with the true state of mind, or the highest state of mind. That's the self logos experienced as knowing, gives us a power and the paradigm. Its activity, understanding, that's the dialectic we mentioned. And therefore it's through the mastery of what we're here to master, the ultimate functioning in the everyday world, the dialectic, facilitating the ultimate state of mind, that state of knowing of that model we've been using and want Democrats to have, Sam. So through the logos, through time, in the excellence of human functioning, understanding, the excellence out of time or all at once, the ideal state of mind, the self-logos as a whole, that's the paradigm, from which we can derive, or allowing us to conclude, so long as we're not blocked from conclusions, through that understanding parts of the self-logos and the state of mind whole of the self-logos, we can recognize what transcends both as its first and final cause, the one self, via that self-logos. So therefore, the meaning of life dialectic gives us the self-logos parts, facilitates the self-logos whole, and it's through the self-logos we can learn to see and acknowledge and recognize the self, the one self. That's the final goal. That's the goal. Its distortion is the cause of problems. Its recognition is our ultimate state of being and purpose. And that's all I was trying to say in Twitch. But I got fucking banned without anyone saying anything to me. Crazy, isn't it crazy?
Whore.
But whore.
If you're experiencing a mental health episode,
What?
we don't want to have to see that.
Yeah, that's the Twitch people.
It's a total shit show.
It's a shit show up in there.
I've been a bad little girl.
Yeah, by hiring these guys.
Okay. I don't know.
I know.
I find that very entertaining. I'm a human. I don't listen to robots.
Yeah, I don't listen to those robots on Twitch chat. So, all I was trying to say is that, and took us 3 hours to say it, but it was worth saying. Huge beef right now. All they needed to do, well, I said like one thing. I said, hey, by the way, this. Yeah, you know how you said paradigm or tent pole or whatever? It's the self logos. And oh, you know how you're recognizing states of mind? Yeah, it is states of mind. Yeah, that's what it is. By the way, it's called that paradigm that you're pointing to as self logos. Ban. Fucking Emma. Huge beef with Emma. It's crazy.
He better not.
Better. Why, better.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yep.
That's anti-feminist in some way.
The attack from Emma's majority report against me is anti-feminist because this solves also sexist problems. So, get me back and it will be... Wait.
Win. It's a 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 win.
See? By kicking out the crazy Twitch moderators and letting me chat and Twitch again will be a win. Why? Because I can better do what I'm here to do, the dialectic, which includes sharing it, which includes learning how to present it in a providential way like the Dream Master does. Again, giving me power or taking away the power to silence me so I can do the activity and use the model to providentially benefit the people I've been caring about as best I can and interested in as best I can, like Emma and the majority report. So give me that power back. But also you benefit because you benefit from all the fucking work I've done my whole life. Because like, how important is this? How important is this? Everything we've just written here. I'm not charging any fucking money. I don't even get enough subscribers to be an affiliate on Twitch. I'm not getting anything out of this other than, you know, benefiting humanity and myself, my soul. So that's why I'm the righteous hero of this huge beef with Emma right now. So hopefully that explained everything. And hopefully that will put an end to this huge beef that's going viral on the internet and taking the internet by storm.
Absolutely gooped.
Yeah, everyone's gooped in this because of how crazy this beef is on Twitter. Two of the most popular, I was gonna say political streamers, but understanding-based streamers, me at Awakening Philosophy and Emma in the Majority Report, two biggest, most important channels clashing. Two of there are some other ones. Clashing, huge beef. So if there's a streamer award for biggest beef that's taking the internet, that's breaking the internet and going viral and breaking it, because that's a thing that is dumb, then it's this beef with Emma. So hopefully I've outlined it clearly enough and simply enough, and Emma will apologize and atone for her sins by making the Twitch streamers go away and Twitch moderators realize that they're stupid and they're wrong and I was the best. And giving me the power back in my chat so I can share my little messages that might slowly sleep into the consciousness of others, like a dream master giving you dream until you finally listen. Next time we will do more to learn how to listen. Not to me in this crazy beef that's gone viral.
I find that very entertaining.
Yeah. Entertaining for other people because it's slop.
So like, not only have you been wrong on like 3 or 4 different things at once,
Emma.
which is already offensive enough, but you did it in the most annoying way.
So annoying because of your annoying Twitch streams, Emma. But how can we do better than those stupid Twitch moderating dickheads and listen, goops?
I don't know. It's a crazy. Oh boy, that is a little weird.
they're so weird, by listening to our Dream Master. So in a similar way, our dreams are giving us dream and dream and dream each night, seeping, helping us, well, hopefully seeping the information in, but giving us the information that we need to do to address our own issues and realize everything that we've come to here and more. So not only realizing all this stuff here as the whole or the paradigm, but can recognize our part within the whole and our development to mastering the dialectic to remove the false image of the self, and through knowing and understanding, use the self logos to recognize that which is beyond both the self. That's what dreams tell us all the time. And let's not ban our dreams from the Twitch chat of our life, but learn how to be decent streamers and content creators and listen. How do we best listen to our dreams? How do we master the dialectic at the same time as gaining the providential information about our own development from dreams, making it a win-win?
Win-win-win-win-win.
Win-win-win-win-win. How do we do it? Find out next time on our next stream. Thank you for joining me. Again, Twitch, YouTube, follow and subscribe and all that. There's a join a Discord if you want going live notification. You can support the channel if you want to donate below. That's very much appreciated. And you can even find a link to the PDF of the text below. Thank you for watching. And next time, we're going to get more into what is this Dream Master and how do we benefit the most by learning how to listen. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one. And the button. Bye.